Welcome to my week one weigh-in. I did have a little look at some of the recommendations that people had put from last week, and I think it were the three things that I was looking for was a accountability, some sort of plan to follow, and some sort of community, ideally like a face-to-face online group or a group setting. Slimming World would always be my preferred go-to option, but there isn't any classes that are correct for me at the moment. So I'm not ruling it out. It's just the one I live in quite a rural area, and the closest one is a bit of a journey, and it's on a day that's not necessarily the best. If things change, things might change. I know I can do it online. I don't feel like that's going to, for the money I would spend, I don't feel like it would give me anything. Similar to Weight Watchers, there isn't a class at all in my area. And again, I don't know with a purely online one if they have the same group feeling. I did a bit of research into Grow with Kieran. I think it might work because he has the same, he used to be a Slimming World consultant. He has the same, not the same, it's not the same, should anyone be watching. It's a similar, as in you have free foods, which I love the idea of, and then a calorie allowance. I believe, from what I can gather, there's probably way more to it than I'm simplifying down. So you have free foods and a calorie allowance, which in my head I'm thinking that sounds perfect. And I might. I was just thinking that I may well reach out and have a conversation, because the website doesn't seem to be that up to date, because it mentions offers from the beginning of the year. There is an online option, and I know there's like a virtual group like thing that happens, but again, there doesn't seem to be like a tester. It's like £75 for 3 months or something like that, which isn't, like, cost wise, it doesn't seem that bad. If you've got to pay the full £75 and then I do 2 classes and don't like it, that seems like it's a bit of a, I'm not sure. So I would like to investigate what that's like, if it might be a good fit for me. In the meantime, the plan I've decided to sort of go with is calorie counting. I'm not going to calorie count fruit or vegetables. I'm happy to make sure that like my carbs are measured and weighed a little bit more, so you know I'm not loading up a massive plate of pasta, but 100% I'm not willing to weigh me a banana, because I don't like bananas, but I wouldn't eat it. I know I wouldn't eat it. If I had to weigh out a portion of fruit and it come to 100 calories, I'd rather have a Freddo. I know that's that's possibly not the right mindset to be in, but that's where I am. So that's what I've been doing. And scores on the scales were, for my first week, I lost 1.6 pounds, so 1.5 pounds, which for my first week, bearing in mind prior to that I'd been to Butlins and managed to gain 6 pounds in 5 days, not the best. And I had all the good friends saying, probably just when I said I'd put on that much, they're like, it's probably water, all the cocktails you were drinking. It never is with me. It always will go on super fast, super hard like that, and then take ages to cut. I'd still lose like £1 a week. But I am going to continue to be kind to myself, and rather than try to, a bit like what I was saying yesterday, rather than try to sort of fix everything in one go, I want to do this now. I'm in the right headspace to really make it work. I'm not going to undo it by trying to panic out. I'm going to stay kind to myself and think a loss is a loss. It's in the right direction. I'm happy with that. I know that everything that's moving is good. I did do a bit of a, what's the word? It's not a conversation. Anyway, I did put in some stuff into ChatGPT because I feel like, and if you've ever watched any of my videos before, from like before when I was losing weight or trying to, I am okay for my breakfast and lunch, and I'm quite happy to have a cereal bar and something like, something, it's snacky, but I'm not hungry. I don't need more than that. Breakfast, lunch is fine. My days are fine. My evening meals generally okay. It's the nighttime snacking where I know is like my danger zone. And I think that's one of the things that I remember doing when I went to groups before, is they would be like, where's your danger zone? Where are you gonna, like, don't go to shopping hungry because you will pick up all the wrong things. So I know my danger zone is in the evenings. And I thought, I'm just gonna have, me and ChatGPT are gonna have a bit of a conversation about what could happen and why this might be, to like really like dig deep into it. And actually it was really helpful. It's not the same as obviously talking to a proper dietitian or healthcare professional. I'm not going to say it is, and obviously I wouldn't ever recommend taking the advice as gospel. The things it said were that it noticed that I had sort of three points of issue. One is, and I've written these down, so I'm going to make a note. One is an energy deficit. So by the end of the day, because I haven't eaten enough or correct foods, my energy levels are super low, and it looks for a quick fix. And a quick fix would be sweet foods, because it has that energy rush. So that could be one of the things. It also said that by the end of the day, I'm usually quite tired and a little bit overwhelmed, and like my brain's just done. So it's looking for, again, something to comfort me. It's looking for that dopamine hit, and sweet foods or sweet treats give that instant hit of dopamine, and it releases chemicals in the brain that make you feel a little bit happier and comforted. So that is also something else that happens. And then the last thing, because it says like, do you do it if you're bored or if you're busy? And I said, it doesn't matter. I could be doing like, I've done diamond paint, but so I could be doing something with like where I'm busy, but I'd still want to have something like a piece of chocolate in my mouth, just to, or it's this when I'm watching TV, or if I'm reading a book, it's this. So it basically said that's like a learned safety response, where I'm going to read it. It's learned safety response, where it's a habit that signifies winding down and comfort. And all three of those things made complete sense to me. And I was like, do you know what? 100% that makes sense to me. So for next week, the things that I thought, or the things that it suggested and I think is doable, is to have better nutritionally balanced breakfasts and lunches, maybe even eat a bit more, but have things that are more protein rich. So I've got some crab sticks, and I'm going to do some boiled eggs, and I'm going to have still that snackiness, so it's quick, because I'm usually quite busy and I like to have stuff on the go. More, as I said, more dense, more protein rich, filling foods hopefully will take away that energy deficit need. For the sugar triggers, then I have bought some fruit, some pineapple and melon, and things that are naturally sweet, but equally so that I can still have quite a bit of it to to have that end of the day, but then without maybe with the other things it won't be as bad. And then the other thing that I've also bought that I thought I could snack on is some like the low calorie, I know it's not 0 calorie, but the low calorie popcorn, sweet popcorn, because I thought again it's that I got that graziness happening. I'm hoping by adding those sort of changes in and maybe upping my water, because I'm still dreadful with that. I mean to. I've almost this week I'm cutting down the fizzies. I don't drink like full fat fizzy. It would be diet fizzies anyway. Even though I've been cutting those down, I've just gone without rather than upping the water. So I feel like I do need to do both. So that's the plan moving into next week. But overall, I'm really happy with the start that I've made. I've got some, as I said, I've got those 3 things written down, and I'm literally going to have them in my diary as a reminder, and I'm going to think about anything else I can have to help with, as I said, the better balanced breakfast and lunch. Dinner I'm fine with, and then thinking about what are the very low calorie or 0 calorie snacks that I can prepare for the evening that are still okay and aren't going to tip me over into a sort of maxing out my calories, because obviously overall I need to be under the amount of calories I'm using in order to lose weight, and obviously this week I wasn't under enough. So that is my first week weigh-in back on a journey to lose some weight. I wanted to say like X amount of pounds. I wanted to be like, oh, follow me while I lose X amount of pounds, but I've not even worked it out. So, okay. So that's everything for me. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.